Hey there, welcome to Let's Talk IT Careers. My name is Tim Warner. This is episode 21, entitled Ghosting Former Colleagues. The problem statement we're concerned with today is, let's imagine that you've just been laid off, or maybe you've been fired from your job in IT. None of your former colleagues, you'll notice, make any effort to contact you by telephone, by your personal email, text message, nothing, and you wind up feeling, am I leprous? Is there something wrong with me? It's a bad feeling. I've been laid off before. I have been fired. Now, note, I'm not going to say I've been terminated. That's something that really bothers me. A person is never terminated. His or her employment is terminated. I sometimes hear even human resources people say that. Got to get your language straight. Anyway, let's continue. The title of this video is Ghosting Your Former Colleagues. And ghosting is a slang term, and if you look it up on Urban Dictionary, it's defined there mostly in the context of dating, but I'm using it here more generally. The act of suddenly ceasing all communications with someone, including ducking their calls, email, and text messages. The key point to ghosting someone is that you're not providing them with any explanation or context. You're just, essentially, it feels like you're ignoring them. Now, I'm trying to anticipate how you're responding to this. This topic is kind of uncomfortable. If I think over my past work history, how have I responded when a colleague has left the company, perhaps against their will, through a downsizing effort, their job was eliminated and they were laid off, or maybe their employment has been terminated for whatever reason? How am I going to respond or react to that? Now, you might have been the ghostee or the ghoster, or both, so you have some context on either side. But if you're the person who is without a job and feeling a bit lonely, you might be pondering, well, why? I had such a great working relationship with these colleagues, and now nothing. It's as if we've never had contact before in life. Well, some ideas, just some points to ponder from my experience. Perhaps some might be experiencing some fear. Some work cultures are healthier than others. Some, unfortunately, involve a lot of fear and self-preservation. This ties into another Let's Talk IT episode that I recorded dealing with knowledge hoarding that you might want to check out. But the fear here is that, wow, Tim just got laid off. I'm afraid I'm going to be next. I don't want to contact him, maybe because I'm superstitious and the layoff is contagious. Or it'll just be, well, I don't want my boss to think that I'm fraternizing with an ex-employee, and that might create an HR issue. Another is simply the awkwardness and embarrassment of, well, this person whose employment has been terminated probably feels bad. I don't want him or her to feel more uncomfortable by my reaching out. Or this is probably the most common reason, life goes on. You probably, especially in IT, you probably have many plates spinning. You've got more than enough work to do for each 8-hour shift. You may feel sad that someone's employment was terminated or they were laid off for whatever reason, but you're just so busy on your job, you might plan to send that person a LinkedIn message, let's say, but then you forget about it just as life goes on. Some wise words that were taught to me when I was at college by one of my mentors, a guy whose nickname was Max. He said, Tim, if you don't like what somebody does, if you observe their behavior and you realize, ooh, I don't really like that, the only power I have in that situation is to ensure that I'm not doing that action myself. I can't change what anybody else does. So to that point, the solution to the problem statement in my life is that I make a point to reach out to ex-employees. Now, I should have changed that bullet point to say ex-colleagues, those that I actually have regular contact with on the job. I can do this in many different ways depending upon my closeness to the person prior to their leaving the organization. It can be a LinkedIn message. It can be a text if I have their cell phone. It can be email using their personal address if I have it. But what I do is that I'll state explicitly that I miss the person. Of course, I mean it when I say that. I'm not blowing smoke. And I also offer to serve as a professional reference. Main motivation for doing this is because I know what it feels like, that isolation that can happen when I leave a company. And it feels like these people that I've worked with in some cases for years seem like I don't exist anymore. I mean, you might make the counter argument, Tim, you're being melodramatic here, but maybe, whatever. But I'm a human being. I hope that this was a useful episode for you. If you want to reach me for any reason, my name's Tim Warner. You can find me on Twitter at TechTrainerTim. I post 99% industry-related news specific to my areas of expertise, which are the Microsoft technology stack and cloud computing. Web, I'm at techtrainertim.com or Tim Warner Tech. They're just mirrors of each other. And LinkedIn, timw.info/TW link. And my work, my training is with Pluralsight, pluralsight.com. Thanks very much for hanging in with me. Take good care, and I'll see you in the next episode.